All right, we're taking a closer look now, and our partners at Consumer Reports are taking a deeper look after it was found that there were dangerous chemicals in synthetic braiding hair last year. The group, Consumer Reports, has now tested human hair and other braiding products, and what they found may surprise you. Luz Plasencia has the results.
When Consumer Reports' investigation of synthetic braiding hair found cancer-causing carcinogens in every sample tested last year, James Rogers, Consumer Reports' Director of Product Safety, was concerned, both as a scientist and as a parent.
Both of my daughters do use braids, and they do use synthetic hair for their braids. I'm very concerned of their exposure to these chemicals when they choose to wear braids.
Consumer Reports tested 30 additional braiding hair products, including human hair, plant-based hair, and other synthetic braiding hair products. All 30 products also contained VOCs, including acetone and small amounts of known carcinogens.
Almost every product tested contained heavy metals. Lead was detected in 29 of 30 products.
And all 9 human hair products CR tested contained lead concentrations far above CR's level of concern. Several products CR tested were found to have comparatively lower levels of contaminants, and for one product, the Doso Beauty hypoallergenic Kanekalon fiber, all 3 heavy metals were not detected.
This suggests that in the production of synthetic braiding hair, these products can be made without being contaminated with potentially harmful chemicals.
CR contacted all the tested brands for comment. Of those who responded, some highlighted their own product testing, and a few noted that they are reviewing or enhancing their testing procedures. Some brands also took issue with CR's testing, challenging the methodology and risk assessment, and pointing out differences in their own testing.
The results of this testing will provide additional information that consumers, such as my 2 daughters, will be able to pick products that are safer when they choose to wear braids.
This is Luz Plasencia.
And joining us live right now is James Rogers with Consumer Reports. James, we appreciate you making the time for us. This was a story that had a real personal connection for you.
Yes, it did, because as I mentioned, my 2 adult daughters wear braids from time to time, and I wanted to be able to recommend to them products that were safer via our testing efforts. And I think I'm able to do that now.
And for folks who watched that story, saw the Consumer Reports reporting on this, and took away, hey, there are chemicals that potentially are not good for people in these products. Can you tell us a little more what specifically is concerning and what are the potential risks of the chemicals y'all found in these products?
So, for instance, human hair is seen as an alternative to the artificial types of hair. And so that is the first line type of hair that people use for their cosmetics for hair. Finding such a high level of lead, which for adults can cause kidney problems, et cetera, and for children contribute to developmental issues and brain issues, finding such a high amount of lead, number one, tells us that human hair probably is not a good alternative. But it also points to the fact that the women that are growing their hair for selling are probably exposed to high levels of lead in their environment, in their diet, in the air, sometimes in their cosmetics. CR did a story on Kohl eyeliner that had high amounts of lead. And so it really points to a global problem, both for the wearers of the hair, but also those that grow their hair for commerce.
You get into something I wanted to ask you about, and you've teed us up really well when you talk about human hair as a alternative, as a substitute, as a supplement to these braiding materials. Is it in your finding that the human hair in its processing is getting these chemicals added to it? Or, as you've alluded to, is it a situation where perhaps the people who are growing their hair out to then be used for this purpose are being exposed to harmful chemicals on the front end?
Well, we don't know exactly where the source of the lead comes from, but you're correct. In addition to environmental exposure, chronic environmental exposure, it also could be that human hair that has to be processed also, maybe dyed, maybe chemically treated, maybe that processing is introducing lead to the product too. We don't know the processing steps because that's usually business sensitive information for the manufacturers of these products. But those are at least two of the theories that we have as to why there was so much lead in human hair.
Two last questions for you here, and I think they're ones people will both be keen to get answers to. The first is this: how do people learn more about what kinds of chemicals are inside of the products that they potentially use on a daily basis?
We believe our study last year was one of the first studies that actually connected brands to particular chemicals that may be found in the hair. This is a second study, so we've studied a total of 40 products now. There's another study that recently came out also that tested human hair. Right now, we're advising consumers that use this product to look at studies like ours and use that as a guide to help them find safer products. We noted in the story that there were at least two products of artificial hair that had either no detectable heavy metals or low amounts of heavy metals. So if consumers are concerned about heavy metal contamination, use our stories as a guide to help them choose the products they want to buy, but also be aware that there's going to be more testing and more data and information being released in the future.
And last question here, the other side of this part of our conversation, you've revealed how people can get more knowledge about potential exposure. Let's talk about the action component now. If you are somebody who's nodding along and thinking, whoa, I've used some of these products that have been flagged by CR as potentially risky, what should those folks do? You mentioned you can look for alternative products. Is there anything else they should do? Should they be in touch with a physician or anything like that?
So we list a number of responses we suggest for consumers. So, for instance, if you're wearing these products and you start getting irritation, itching, rashes, go to your doctor and let them see that so that you have a record that this is happening. We also are suggesting that there's a website at the FDA where you can report these reactions so they know that a particular product is having an issue. We also list some of the things that you can do to reduce your exposure to these chemicals. So many consumers will wear these braids for 4 to 6 years, 4 to 6 months, I'm sorry. Cut that time down. Maybe wear them for 2 to 3 months. We know it's expensive, but it's better to lower your exposure. We also suggest that you rest your hair in between braiding events. So extend the time between those events where you will have braids. We also suggest that sometimes if you think a particular brand is going to irritate you, do a patch test. Buy one pack of hair, put one braid in your hair, and then see if you're going to have a reaction to that. And if you do, don't use that particular brand. For the people who actually do the braiding, who may be exposed to these chemicals too, especially the volatile organic compounds that can be released when the hair is heated on the ends to close the ends. Maybe avoid that if you can. Figure out a way to close the ends of the braids a different way, or make sure where you're getting your braids that there's extensive effective ventilation so that the amount of these chemicals and the particulates that can be generated from the hair during the braiding process are kept very, very low, and though your exposure will be low also.
All right, James Rogers with Consumer Reports. We always appreciate you and CR's work on exposing stuff that folks may not always be paying keen attention to, but they definitely want to learn about and know about. So, James, thank you. Thank you for your work. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Okay, and thank you for having me.